everybody, it's Paul Neeson with the Real Life Health Show, and on the Real Life Health Show, if you don't know about it, go to reallifehealthshow.com. Every Friday we do Friday Q&A and we answer all the questions, and it's a member website, so go check it out. But I want to answer a question now that we got from somebody. Somebody says, hello Paul, I love your show and all the raw food advice. I was just wondering your opinion about Dr. Morcola and his advice on limiting the amount of sugar in your diet, even from fruit. Most people in the raw food world, from what I have read, eat a great deal of fruit, and it makes up a lot of their diet. But Dr. Morcola states the opposite. I had followed him for a while, and I am limited my amount of fruit to 0 in my diet. Thank you for your helpful advice in this situation. Well, this is a very important topic and a very common topic in the raw food world. When I first wrote my first book called The Raw Life, I interviewed a lot of people who've been eating a raw food diet for many years, and many of them had different opinions about how to eat a raw food diet. Some said eat a lot of one thing or a little of another, or a lot of one thing and none of the other. And I put all those interviews in there because I wanted the people to see that there's not just one way to do it, there's many different ways. But the topic of sugar is very interesting because sugar is such a problem in today's society, and so many people suffer from sugar today. And yes, processed table sugar is much worse than sugar from a natural source like fruits and vegetables. But the real answer is, if somebody is already suffering from some type of a sugar-related issue, adding any type of sugar to the diet in excess is going to make that issue worse. However, if somebody is not suffering from a sugar-related issue, there's no problem with eating sugar in its natural form. And I've met many people that even have sugar-related issues and switch to a natural form of sugar like fruits and vegetables, and have been perfectly fine. So what we need to do is first look at where we're starting from. If we have a tendency to be addicted to sugar items, switching out processed sugar items for natural sugar items might be a step in the right direction, but switching out unnatural processed sugar addictions for natural sugar addictions is not a step in the right directions. So it depends. Me personally, if I know somebody who's addicted to sugar, I'm going to tell them to cut that back on the high sugar sweet fruits and stick to the lower sugar fruits, because all fruits have sugar in them, but some more than others. And then seedless hybridized foods have much more. For example, if you have a watermelon with seeds and a watermelon without seeds, the watermelon with seeds is going to have a lot less sugar getting in your system too quickly, because if you're eating the seeds with the watermelon, it helps cut down on the rate of the sugar coming into the body too quickly. Whereas seedless watermelons and other seedless fruits, you don't have that seed, which usually has some kind of fat in it, to help cut down on the rate of sugar coming into your bloodstream too quickly, number one. And number two, the food's not hybridized to have too much sugar in it to begin with. So if you eat fruit the way it was found in nature, or as close to that as possible, with its seeds, then it'd be okay to eat fruits. But if you're eating fruits that are seedless, for example, there's a big difference between seedless grapes and grapes with the seeds in it. A tremendous difference. Now, when I was younger and I ate grapes with seeds in it, I used to spit out the seeds. Now I just chew those seeds up right with the grape, and it definitely is wonderful and the way to go. However, if you're going to eat seedless grapes, I'll get a sugar rush real quick, just like I will with seedless watermelon, because it's too much sugar too much quickly in the system. So it depends on several factors if we should be eating a lot of fruit in our diet. If we're already suffering from a sugar-related disease, Hippocrates Health Institute is one place that is based on the Ann Wigmore lifestyle, which notices a lot of sugar-related disease such as cancer and hypoglycemia and diabetes is common because people are eating too much sugar. So when people go there with those issues, they tell them to cut down or cut out completely sugar for a certain amount of time, including sugar found in fruit. But if there are people that aren't suffering from those type of issues, they let them eat sugar that comes from fruit in small amounts. If somebody's an athlete and they're not suffering from sugar-related problems, then they can get away with eating a lot more sugar because they're burning it off. So people would often ask me, how much is enough or how much is too much? And the first answer would come, it depends on your history and your health condition. And the next answer would be, it depends on your lifestyle and your activity levels. But the real answer is, you want to make sure you're burning the amount of sugar that you're taking in. If you're taking in a lot more than you're actually burning, meaning if you're not living an active lifestyle, but you're eating a lot of sweet fruits, that's not a good thing. But if you're burning it off, then you can get away with eating more sugar. Now that's not a reason to be more active so you can eat more. It should be the opposite way around. We should be less active so we don't have to eat as much. But we definitely want to make sure we're active and we're living an active lifestyle with exercising and so on. But overeating is never an answer, whether it's sugar or anything else. Now, again, there are many different types of sugar sources out there. I eat fruit. I think fruit is a wonderful food. However, the balances people do this in, it's an individual basis, so it has to be different for all of us. The real problem comes with the sugar and the fat. If you're a person that likes to eat a good amount of fat, again, just like sugar, you want to make sure you get it from a more natural source that's easier digestible, like fruits and vegetables, as opposed to animal fats. But if you're eating a good amount of fat, well, if you're eating a good amount of sugar with that, then it might create an issue because the body can't process the sugar and the fat in high loads at the same amount of time. So if you're going to eat a higher amount of fat, you want to cut down on the amount of sugar. If you're going to eat a higher amount of natural sugars from fruits and vegetables, you might want to eat a lower fat diet. From my experience, what I've seen in the raw food world is people that do eat a good amount of sugar that aren't already suffering from a sugar-related issue can get away with it if they're active and they're not eating a good amount of fat. And the vice versa, the people that don't have fat-related issues, like heart-related issues or cholesterol-related issues, can get away with eating higher amounts of natural fat if they're not eating as much sugar. But when you're eating a high amount of fat and sugar, that's often where a problem usually comes in. You definitely want to make sure you're eating a little of both, though. As a matter of fact, I think we need to follow good food combining, but it is helpful to eat certain fats when you're eating sugar to help cut down, especially if you're doing things like a lot of sugar juice. I definitely recommend people add things that aren't sugar and even a little fat to that, so it cuts down on the rate of sugar getting into the system too quickly. So it can be quite confusing. I don't think we need to limit the amount of fruit to 0 completely. If we are suffering from a sugar-related issue, we might want to eat the non-high sugar fruits like even red peppers or tomatoes. They're very low sugar type fruits. But if we are eating some fruits that have sugar in them, make sure they're not seedless, and then we should be okay. So I hope that clears up some of the confusion, and I hope it didn't confuse you as more as it might have. But if you have any questions or comments, just post them below the video. And sometimes I will answer the questions right here, but every Friday I answer all the questions for members of the Raw Life Health Show. So get over to rawlifehealthshow.com. Sign up now and you can check it out, and you can get those question and answers, and you can see all the question and answers from the previous weeks, and you could also see recipes and interviews and so on. I just interviewed a lot of people. So go to the Raw Life Health Show and check it out. Alright everybody, this is Paul Nisa with the Raw Life Health Show saying enjoy your fruit, enjoy your fat, make sure it's raw from a vegetable source. Have a great day and have a great raw life.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life, brighten up your life.